We are taking chapter number 2, Right and Duties in Indian Constitution. So what are the rights of the citizens and what are the duties of different organs and of course the citizens which are given in Indian Constitution? So Constitution is what? We have seen that Constitution is a document, and this document sets the limit on the powers of the government. That is, the government, the periphery or the boundary is limited, and this ensures the democratic system in which everyone enjoys certain rights. They get certain rights. So what are we going to discuss is what are the various fundamental rights which are listed in the Constitution of India and how these rights they are protected. If some institution or someone wants or tries to infiltrate in these fundamental rights, how these rights are protected and what role the judiciary has to play in protecting and interpreting these fundamental rights and duties, etc. What is the difference between, because we are talking about fundamental rights, what does this mean? We'll just discuss about this, what is fundamental means. So fundamental rights, what is the difference between the fundamental rights and the directive principles of the state policies? Are they equal or are they not equal? Does they interpret same thing? So there is a difference between the fundamental rights and the directive principles of the state policy. We'll start with certain examples. For example, if you are living in a home, you are allowed to go outside, eat something, play, and whatever you want to do, that is under the guidance of your parents, you are able to do whatever you want. You have freedom. But what happens if you have a father or a mother? They don't allow you to go outside. They don't give you food, or they have taken all your freedom. You cannot talk to your friends. You cannot do things which you want. So now you understand the importance of rights. What are rights? What is freedom? So we'll take two examples. In 1982, India hosted Asian Games. Now the government of India, they engaged certain contractors, and they because there was a construction of flyovers and the stadiums as you see here, these contractors hired the different or you can say large number of very poor construction workers. So they hired people. Now these workers, they were given very poor working conditions and they are paid less than what is being decided by the government. That is, if 100 has been decided by the government, say they were given in only 50 or 40 rupees. Now when the social scientists, that is the Samajik Vaigyanik, those people who understand the society and they are activists, so anything going wrong, they help. So when they saw the poor condition or what amount they are being paid, they filed a petition in Supreme Court of India. Now they argued that the people or the contractors who employed these people, they did not give them even the minimum wage. So it is kind of forced labor, that is called begar, and the forced labor, bandhua mazduri. So this is the breach or violation of the fundamental right against the exploitation. So this is a fundamental right, that we have a right against exploitation. Now the Supreme Court agreed, accepted the petition plea and directed the government that they must ensure that those poor worker, they were employed should get the proper wages they were promised. This is the first example. Now the second example is the example of Machal Lalung. Now he was 23 years of age. He was a resident of Chuburi village of Morigaon district of Assam. Now he was charged that he has caused certain injuries to someone, and then he was arrested. Then because of his mental condition, he was sent to the hospital. That was the Lokpriya Gopinath Bordolai Mental Hospital in Tejpur for treatment because of his some mental state. He was unstable. Now this guy was treated properly, and now the doctors wrote certain number of times, 1996, 1967, 1996, they said that you can try this person, now he is fit to stand the trial. But no one paid any kind of attention, no one was interested. So this person, Machal Lalu, he remained in behind the bars in judicial custody, and he was released in July 2005. Then he was 77. The difference of this is 54 years. 54 years this person, without getting proper hearing or trial, he was in the prison. The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, they intervened, and after the inspection of the under trials, they found that this person was not even being given a proper trial, and he came out at 77. So these are the two stories which tells us that their rights have been violated. That means our constitution gives every citizen of the country the right of life and liberty. This means every citizen must also have the right to fair and speedy trial, which Lalu did not get. He was poor. He was not being listened to. So in the case of the first instance, what we saw, the workers were not given proper wages. They are poor. Then also they are not being, they are just being taken for work, but they are not being paid proper amount. So the constitution guarantee of the right against exploitation ensured that the justice of these workers is being done. So constitution and judiciary, they played role along with the social activists and social scientists, and then these workers, they got what they deserve. Now coming to Bill of Rights. What are these Bill of Rights? See, first of all, we need to understand that these two examples, they show that how important are the rights and how we need to implement these rights. That is, every democracy must ensure that every individual has certain rights, have certain rights if they are living in the country, right? And these rights are mentioned in the constitution itself. They are enlisted in the constitution, and this rights, that is the list of rights mentioned and protected by the constitution, is called the Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights is what? It is the list of rights mentioned and protected by the constitution, and it is called as the Bill of Rights. So what are these Bill of Rights? It prohibits, it stops government if they are acting against the individuals. That is, if they have made certain rulings, certain law that is not abiding by, or they are violating this list, there is a remedy. Constitution has given a remedy that these rights cannot be violated, right? That is the crux of the story, is that the constitution has given, so no organ of the government, neither the government nor any individual, can try these to be violated. They cannot violate it. That is how any violation is prohibited, and the law is always there. Then coming to the fundamental rights in Indian constitution, what happened when the freedom struggle was going on, that is the national movement we are talking. The leaders of this freedom movement, they realized that how important are these rights. How important are these rights? Because the British rulers, they would apply, say, Kanun like Dhara 144, Deshdroh. So sedition law, all these laws were there. There are certain ways only those people who talk against, or though they stand against the British rule, they were just taken into task, or they were just sent behind the jail, or they were just killed. So there was a breach of the rights. So people of this freedom struggle, they understood this. So Motilal Nehru Sahab and his committee, there was a committee actually, Motilal Nehru committee had demanded the Bill of Rights in 1928. It was far back, you know. They come up with this idea that the rights are very important for any individual of the country. So then what happened? The constitution listed the rights that would be specially protected, and these are called as the fundamental rights. What does this fundamental means? Fundamental means like those which are basic. Those which are basic. So fundamental rights, they are so important that the constitution itself protects it. That is, constitution ensures that they are not violated by anyone, neither the government nor anyone. So these are fundamental things like right to freedom, right to equality. These are the basic things which cannot be violated. So as I said, that fundamental rights, they are protected and guaranteed by the constitution of the country. This we have seen. But see, the ordinary rights, we have the legislature. So ordinary rights can be changed by, or can be amended by the legislature that make the law by ordinary process of law making. But these fundamental rights, they may only be changed by amending the constitution, because the constitution needs to be changed, and we have seen that constitution changing is not so easy. So judiciary, the judiciary which we know that it is independent, the Nyayapalika has the powers and responsibility to protect the fundamental rights. They have the authority and the right, the power to protect the fundamental rights from violation by the action of anyone, like I said, government. If the executive, if the legislative, they make certain, say, illegal things, or those kanun, those niyam, those regulation which are violating the fundamental rights or restrict this fundamental right in some unreasonable manner, then the fundamental rights are guarded by the judiciary. But there are certain things, if some extreme condition is there, or you can say that some emergency condition is there, so government can put reasonable restriction on the exercise of this, our fundamental rights. But this is only when there is a reasonable requirement, there is something which is emergency condition, then only these fundamental rights can be restricted by the government. Coming to the right of equality, I will tell you two stories, very short stories, and now I want you to decide whether they were given proper equality right or not. I am saying that two people, one was called as Sudesh Kumar and other was Sudesh Kumar friend. Now they went to their village, means Sudesh Kumar was from the village and this guy was his friend. Now they wanted to have a tea. The shopkeeper asked, because he knew the Sudesh Kumar, but he didn't knew his friend. So he asked about the caste of Sudesh Kumar friend. Now when he knew the caste, the shopkeeper gave a very nice mug of tea to Sudesh Kumar, but for him he just gave a kulhad. That was an earthen cup made of clay. Why? Because the shopkeeper came to know that this friend is a Dalit. Is it right? Is it good? In modern world, is it justifiable? No. Second story. Now, male and female, they are newsreaders. Now the television channel said that if the male are above 45, no problem, but the female, if they are 45 plus, they cannot read news. Means at above the age of 45, they are not allowed to read news. Is this good? Is this the right of equality? No. So what we see here is that we want in our constitution, we have in our constitution, whether a kid, whether an old elderly person, whether anyone here should get the right of equality. What it means is, I'll just tell you that these examples, it shows us clear discrimination against the certain caste, discrimination against certain sex. So the caste, and as I said, gender-based discrimination we see. We don't find it justifiable. So right of equality, it provides equal access to public places like the shops, the hotels, the place of entertainment, the wells, the bathing huts, the place of worship. All these have equal access to anyone. So there cannot be any discrimination to the access on the basis of any caste, any creed, any color, any sex, any religion or place of birth. This is the right to equality. We have learned about it, that there was a practice of untouchability, and this was the crudest, this was the bad thing which happened in our society earlier. Now also some people follow it, but this was the extreme case. And because under the right of equality, this was abolished under the law. Under the law, there cannot be untouchability. If you say untouchability, or if you follow untouchability, you will be behind the bars. So because of the same right, the state, that is the country, can only give title to a person who has done something very good in military or in academic field. Apart from this, the state cannot confer or give any kind of reward, any kind of, say, garlanding to anyone except this, right? No title can be given except these. The preamble mentioned two things. First is the equality of status. The second is equality of opportunity. Now this means equality of opportunity means everyone, different section of society we have, everyone should get equal opportunities in everything, in profession, in job, everywhere. The constitution clearly says the government can implement special schemes and measures to improve the condition of certain society, like the children, like the women, like the socially and economically backward classes. This government can do. We have seen a word called reservation. It is there in our government jobs. So why there are reservation? We will say that this is the breach of this equality and this opportunity. But it is not that. If, say, your father is rich, you have car, you can go to study, you have all the facilities. If a kid has no facility, he is, say, a kid of a mazdoor. Now these are not equal. He has to be given certain chances, some kind of thing, some kind of, you can say, thrust, so that he can compete with you. For that the reservation has come, and the Article 16(4) of the Constitution clearly clarifies, it clearly says that the policy like the reservation is not the violation of right to equality. Now let me tell you about the different fundamental rights we have. Fundamental rights in India. So there were 7 initially, but now there are 6. This right to property is now a Qanun, it's a law. So right to equality means that everyone, Raja or Rank, anyone who is a president or a normal man, they are equal before law and they get equal protection from the law. And there is no space for discrimination. The prohibition is there for discrimination against the ground of religion. And if you are talking about any public place like the shops, bathing huts, hotel, no one can be discriminated or stopped. The employment jobs, there is an equality opportunity. Everyone should get equal chances of getting the employment. And the abolition of titles, that is, I said, the military people or someone who has done really good in the academics, they are only given titles. Other than them, no one. Then there was abolition of untouchability, asprishyata. This comes under the right of equality. So right of equality, everyone is equal. Coming to right of freedom of religion, that is, you can follow any religion. That is, you can profess, you can concise, you can have any religion, you can follow any religion, and also you can manage religious affairs. That is, you can give religious instructions, money or support to certain institutions. There is no problem in that. This is right to freedom of religion. Everyone, even if you are not following religion, then also you are free. Then coming to the right against exploitation. Now, prohibition of forced law. That is, the bandhua mazduri, it is against, this is actually exploitation, so it is prohibited. And the children who are employed in the, say, very different conditions or very hazardous condition, the employment of children in these kind of hazardous jobs are prohibited. Right to liberty and personal freedom. So this says that you can give speech, you can express, you can assemble peacefully, that is, you don't have arms with you, you can form association, you can go anywhere in the country, you can reside and settle and do whatever work you want, any profession you can take, any occupation you can take, and the right to life and liberty, that is, your life is your life cannot be taken, other than if you have done something very wrong under the law. And right of the accused, or those people who are ROP, those who are convicts, they also have certain laws. This comes under the right to liberty and personal freedom. Coming to cultural and educational rights of minority groups, that is the protection of language, culture of minorities, maybe Muslims or Sikh or Christians, all those they can protect. They can do whatever they can to protect their language, culture, minorities, and also right of minorities to establish educational institutes. You can have, say, Christian schools, you can have madrasas, you can have ashrams. Anyone can have any kind of institution to support or to guard their cultural heritage. Educational rights are there. And one more is there, that is the right to constitutional remedies. Now this is actually not a fundamental right, but it is a right to guard these above 5 rights. And this says the right to constitutional remedy, this is empowers the citizens to move to court of law in case of any denial of fundamental rights. So if these 5 fundamental rights are violated or there is breach of any of these fundamental right, now you have all the possibility to go to the court or to get the justice. So these are the 6 fundamental rights in India. Now coming to the right of freedom. This we are going to discuss in the next discussion. Till then, thank you so much. Take care of yourself.